So before I completely transition into episode 2B, I do want to add this portion in case some of you that watch 2A do not watch 2B. Briefly, and this in your own study, you can decipher how this coincides with 2A because it does. But what I want to do is briefly break down the origin of evil. So if you know anything about the Holy Bible, or I'm sure somewhere along the way you have heard God in the beginning made the sun, moon, stars. He made heaven and earth, but what he made that caused him opposition was light. His enemy couldn't, quote unquote, comprehend light, I guess, the purpose of it. And so from that unsurety, from that lack of understanding, birthed not only jealousy, but it birthed hatred. It also birthed insecurity and immaturity. So the importance, again, as I talked about, the importance of people that are made to be pure, not having any similarities with those that are of the dark matter, is that, if we succumb, if we stoop down, if we have any similarities, if we yield to the way of the wicked one, then we fall into one or more of those characteristics that I just named. In the beginning, the devil became jealous. He, prior to falling, wanted to, quote unquote, be, or I guess I should say Lucifer, wanted to be like God, not in a sense of respect or an awe or anything like that, but he wanted the authority that God had. He wanted the position that God held. And of course, we know no one can have that. No one can do that. But instead of being grateful, instead of acting in his own glory and his own power, he chose to try to, dethrone, in a sense, God, and it backfired on him. And for as long as he shall exist, there will be a cycle, and he will be held in bondage for X amount of time because of his immaturity, because he didn't want to be what he was created to be, in a sense. He became jealous out of his own ignorance, and he started hating. And that is what all of his followers do. If you're involved in spiritual warfare, or if maybe you're in school, hopefully not only children have haters, but it should be the case. But if you do have a hater or haters, the best thing for you to do is just kind of take a step back and not necessarily pay attention to what they're doing per se, but the spirit behind it. And you'll see that it all stems from either some form of jealousy, some form of insecurity. It's definitely going to be immature. It always is. Or either, it's going to be some form of jealousy, like maybe you feel a certain type of way about yourself, and they don't have that same self-esteem. They don't know their own self-worth, so they are angry at you because you know who you are. You feel good about yourself. You've decided to live a happy, peaceful, joyful life, and they can't stand you for that. take a step back, survey the situation, and then use your haters, use the enemy in spiritual warfare as a stepping stone. One thing that was also said in the Holy Bible was that the Lord was going to make those who he had chosen, he was going to make their enemies their footstool, and we should do the same thing. We should use the tactics that the enemies or the enemy or our haters are trying to use against us, and do the exact opposite. When we succumb to what they do, then we're on the same type of level of them, as we're on the same type of level as they are. And who wants to be thought of as being immature? Who wants to be thought of as, being a hater? I guess some people do because they exist. But how sad would it be for a chosen one of God to stoop down to the level of someone that is immature? How sad is that?